One day I'll get that right. Welcome into the show. It is Monday, November 17th. It is noon for your cold brews and hot takes with myself, Josh Kimmel. I'll be breaking down all of the week's actions, the injuries. I heard there was a lot of injuries, and we had a debut. We had an NFL debut that a lot of you guys have been wanting, and we got it. Oh boy, we got it. So guys, strap in, get your cold brews ready. If you drink hot brews, that's fine too. Like that's cool. Just put a little ice in it. Get ready for this show. I'll see you on the other side.
You're watching Cold Brews and Hot Takes, only on Fantasy Now Plus.
Boy, where do I begin on this wonderful, wonderful Monday morning? I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I'll tell you what, besides football, like outside of football, I had a magnificent weekend. It was beautiful here in Tampa, Florida. It was 75 degrees and kind of windy. Saturday was not as cold, but Sunday was a beautiful day. So I spent a lot of time outside, watched a little bit of football. I mean, lost a lot of fantasy matchups. A lot of my players did not show up. A lot of my players are going to be talked about in the bad part of the day, but let's make this a quick, fun show. We'll talk about everything. Again, man, if you like this show, if you enjoy our content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. We're here every single day, except for Friday. Friday's our only day off. Please give us some slack on that one. But let's get right into it, my guys. Listen, we always, always, always want something until we actually get that something. That's with everything. That's with life. That's with fantasy football. That's with sports. That's just with anything in general. When we want something, when we finally have it, it's just not as good as what we expected. I tell my kids this as they're 15 and 16 years old looking for their first car. They want a Jaguar. They want an Audi. They want a this and that. And I'm like, guys, you want it until you have to pay for the gas and the insurance and this and that. Like everything that you want can sometimes harm you in the long run. Where does that tie into fantasy football? Where am I getting to? Well, I know all week we were all eating W's, all of us. Get that on, clip that one, Justin. We're there, did it for you. Slow motion it. 12 points, 12 fantasy points for Jameis Winston. Didn't have the YOLO ball days like we expected, but really, who do you have to throw it to? That's the excuse that we're going to all come with this week on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, wherever you're going to complain on. But Jameis Winston didn't do what we wanted him to do. 12-point dud made us question everything, right? We wanted Jameis. Why is Russ out there? Well, Jameis didn't do as much either. Denver. We all wanted the AARP eligible rookie, RJ Harvey. We all wanted him. We finally got him. 14 touches. Woo. 5 points. 5 points. I mean, again, something we wanted for a long time. It's now week 11. We get it. And when we get it, it doesn't produce. But here's the big one. And again, I'm not going to go too far because this isn't really fantasy relevant. Nobody started him. But the chosen one himself, Mr. Shadir Sanders, found his way on the field. Mr. I am accurate. I'm pinpoint accurate. That's my biggest attribute is I'm accurate, right? I know how to throw the ball down the field and get it to the right receiver. He went 4 for 16, 47 yards. Was that Bustin or was that Shadir? I didn't know. I don't know. Historic, awful debut. Again, in relief, off the bench. Was he prepared? I don't know. Concussion protocol, Dylan Gabriel. We'll get into injuries pretty soon, but if we get to see this again next week, oh boy, hold on, man. We're going to have a lot of Shadir Sanders talk if that does happen. But we didn't get everything miserable, right? We didn't get everything was bad this week. I have to give him his flowers. Hope you got something out of this. Bustin Fields finally remembered that he could run the football. Like, yeah, we know he can't throw. Like, we know that. You can't defend it. I'm tired of seeing it. Don't post your clips about him being at Ohio State, throwing it to wide open receivers. Don't post him in training camp, throwing it 70 yards on the field. Don't post him in shorts. Don't post the training workouts. That's all you people know how to do. It's fine. He just can't throw the ball in an active game. That's fine. It's totally fine. Listen, I could perform well by myself, but do I perform with another partner? A little bit shorter session, if you know what I mean. It's okay. It's all right. We're all there. Um, that's Bustin Fields. When it gets down to performance time, he doesn't really perform. It is what it is. But he did on the ground this week for you. So congratulations if you stuck with Bustin Fields. Maybe you enjoyed Brock Purdy coming back. We wanted that. Got George Kittle involved. CMC still awesome, of course, as he's been all year. Brock Purdy came back. Great game for the 49ers and George Kittle and CMC. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then, of course, the great breakout of Ted McMillan. Not finally, he's been good all season, but this was his massive breakout game. All because of Bryce Young, Jekyll and Hyde. Which one are we going to get? Are we going to get 4-point Bryce Young? Are we going to get 33-point Bryce Young? I don't know, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. What's going on, JR? What's going on, Craig? Appreciate you guys as always. We're going to get into it real quick. But first, I do need to get into some plugs, some business, as we call it in the way. So just humor me while we get into some business over here. So Fantasy Now Plus, you can find all of our rankings, waivers, articles. As well, Finstock Sports Network is where you can find all these awesome Miami Dolphins shows. They just won an overtime game in Brazil, so good for them if you're into that kind of situation. We also do pro wrestling at Finstock Sports Network. We do basketball, we do baseball, anything Miami sports based, we got you covered. As far as X, Blue Sky, all of our handles are Fantasy Now Plus. Make sure you follow the guys over there, and of course our Discord, chat.fantasynowplus.com. Join the Discord like many others have and join the conversation. Let's get talking fantasy, guys. All right, man. So that's over with. The plugs, the business, all that stuff we needed to get through. Now we have the bad news, the injuries. We had a lot of injuries this weekend. Too many injuries this weekend. Michael Penix Jr., the first one. He had a knee injury, did not return in the third quarter against the Panthers. So monitor that situation. Michael Penix Jr. It's not like he's been a stud this year, but it's something you want to monitor. Drake London, knee injury, was ruled out, and he's already been ruled out for week 12. Well, I got the sleeper update right before the stream. Expected to miss one more week. So Drake London out next week. Keep that in mind. Dylan Gabriel, possible concussion. We talked about that. If Shedeur Sanders starts, Shedeur Sanders gets another start. Woo, this is what y'all wanted. He got an ovation coming off the bench like he was Mickey Mantle coming in the bottom of the ninth to win the World Series or something. It was ridiculous. I guess something needs to be cheered over in Cleveland. Got nothing else. I don't know if you want to cheer that, man. 4 for 16. That's bad. So if Shedeur Sanders has to start, hopefully he's more prepared. Hopefully he takes it serious and they get him, they set him up for success. Short passing, obviously. Harold Fannin is probably going to be his best friend, and give the ball to Studkins. That's all you have to do. All right. Josh Jacobs, knee left in the second quarter, believes to avoid serious or significant injuries. Monitor that weekly. Injury report. Kamini Vidal left in the first half. Again, don't know the severity of it as yet. Aaron Rodgers left in the third quarter because of a wrist. That's something that's pretty serious. He's old. I'm old. I understand bones hurt when you're old. As the weather gets colder, it's harder to get out of bed. Monitor that, but I doubt you're starting Aaron Rodgers. Calvin Ridley out for the year, broken fibula. You weren't starting him anyway. And Shamir DK, concussion at halftime. Monitor that as well. So that's all the injuries. I'm sure we had a little bit more, but those are the main injuries for your weekend update. Let's get with the good guys. Let's get with the guys that really broke out, crushed it, dominated. And let me just check my rankings real quick because I forgot who I had quarterback one this week, but I believe it was this guy, Jacoby Brissett. Had 23.9 fantasy points, threw the ball 57 times, 452 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. No Marvin Harrison Jr., no problems. Still crushed it. Jacoby Brissett has just been slinging the ball around ever since he had a chance. I do think he will finish this season out without Kyler Murray being such of a problem or he's just not going to get back in the game. And no, there's no way I had Dak Prescott one. Well, I had Dak Prescott one. There's no way. There is zero chance. These are inaccurate. I do not believe these rankings. I could have swore I had Brissett higher. I just did not save it. There you go. Frustrating. That's what happens when you do your rankings on the fly last second, guys. Yeah, Drake May's doing well, Craig. Drake May's doing really well. I'm glad to see that kid actually get it done. I'm glad to see the Patriots win again. I'm not. Again, we're part of the Finstock Sports Network. We do not want to see the Patriots win, but it's good for fantasy football. But Jacoby Brissett, been on a roll. You can start him in confidence because he's getting the ball to his main receivers. Michael Wilson had double-digit targets. Even Greg Dortch got involved. But the most important thing is Trey McBride, his stud, scored 27 fantasy points. That's because Jacoby Brissett knows where to get the ball and when to get the ball out of his hand, which I don't understand why Kyler cannot do that. So Jacoby Brissett, 23.9, big game for him. Justin Fields, that was a Thursday night game. We already talked about him a little bit. 19.3 fantasy points. My guess or my analysis or my thoughts on this one is 67 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. He had 23 passing yards at the half. Why do I know this? Because I had a bet going on that he would throw for under 56 yards again, which he was on pace for. In that second half, he came out slinging the ball. 116 yards on the and through the air. I mean, can't really blame him. Garrett Wilson's not there, but this is the NFL in 2025. 116 passing yards is embarrassing. So, that being said, that was a long time ago. We'll get back into Josh Allen, though. Fraud Allen is back, 44.7 fantasy points. Crushed the Buccaneers. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 3 touchdowns in the air, 317 yards. The Bucs couldn't do squat diddly. Josh Allen's a stud. That's what he's going to do. He has his up games, his down games. When he gets running, when he rushes for touchdowns, that's when he's making his money, obviously. That's where he's making your fantasy points. This was just an all-time game for Mr. Josh Allen. Bryce Young. Katy Perry comes to mind. He's hot and he's cold, right? I don't understand what's going on with Bryce. He goes and throws, 448 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 31 for 45. Like, that's such an efficient, awesome day. But then he has weeks where he scores 4 fantasy points and you can't figure it out. And he has no confidence and he can't find open receivers and he's not making great decisions with the ball. Against Dallas, he had 19.5 fantasy points, 3 touchdowns, threw for 199 yards. Like, it's not very common for him to reach over the 200-yard mark. I'm sitting over here making fun of Justin Fields, but this guy's thrown for under 200 yards in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. 8 games at 11. This guy's not getting it done either, but he does have flashes like this, like week 6 against Dallas. He had a flash. Week 2 against Arizona, he flashed. The talent's there. I'm not going to say the arm strength's there because I'm not really sure if the arm strength is there or not, but because he's not throwing the ball deep or down the field at all. Yards per attempt stays around 5. But I will say this. He's interesting. I want to see how this grows with Canellis. Again, last year he showed flashes, but it wasn't good enough. This year, when he shows flashes, it's phenomenal. But when he shows no flashes, it's almost bottom of the barrel, 2.6 fantasy points. Can't start him. So I wouldn't start Bryce Young in confidence after this week, but balled out yesterday. I bet nobody started him. Nobody. I'm going to stop this real quick and answer Adam's question because it's very interesting. Which side would you rather have? Amon-Ra and Kyron, or Roma Dunze and Bijan? To me, you go, well, I want Amon-Ra and Kyron. Well, why? Well, I'll tell you why. They're more consistent players. They're not going to give you duds. Amon-Ra did give you a dud this week, which we'll talk about. Kyron's usually scoring touchdowns and heavily involved in that high-powered Los Angeles Rams offense. On the other side, Bajan is probably the best player in this deal. And when I make deals, I like to get the best player involved. By far, I want the best player involved in the deal. Roma Dunze, he's the question mark. He's the one, is he going to get you 30 points, 22 points, or like last week or this week? Nothing. Pretty much nothing. We'll talk about him soon. 6.1, I believe he scored. So with that being said, it really depends on your team. Do you want the safe upside of running back, not safe upside, the stud upside of Bajan Robinson, the running back, the best player in the deal? Or do you really want these solid 18-point performances from Amon Ra or Kyron? And with the upside of Roma Dunze also giving you that 20, 25 points as well. So just for fun, and honestly, because I like the best player in the deal, I want to go Bijan. I'm going to go Bajan in Rome because Rome can give you what Kyron can do. It's just the floor is not as high, but the ceiling is just as high. So give me the high upside with Rome, but give me this for sure stud running back, because the running back position is much harder to fill, in my opinion. You're giving up two solid, really solid guys for one super stud. That's what I would do, at least. It also depends on your position in the playoffs and how deep you are at receiver. You know, all these things. People just post questions out there, and I'm not saying you did this, Adam, but people just post trades out there, but they don't really see the context of it. I traded away Trevion Henderson and Jalen Waddle for Jamar Chase. That's a lot, right? People were actually telling me that should be vetoed in my stupid home league. I had one guy complain about it. Well, how's it look now? Jamar Chase scored like nothing. I traded away Henderson, who had 3 touchdowns. I traded away Waddle. I don't know what he did. Nothing. He did nothing as well. But at the time, they're like, veto this trade. This is not fair. Henderson just went off. Look at the context. I could trade away those guys. Henderson and Waddle were on my bench already. Context matters. Not saying that you didn't put enough context in there, Adam. I'm just saying in general, people don't look at the context. They just look at the trade in a vacuum, which that's how you should not evaluate trades. You need to look at the overall team. Running back Sean Tucker, 32 points. 32 points. We all knew Sean Tucker was the second best back in Tampa. I don't know why it took Todd Bowles so long to get him involved. I just don't understand it. I never will understand it. But he definitely did get involved finally. 19 carries, 106, 2 catches, 34 yards, 1 touchdown through the air as well. Sean Tucker, I'm not going to say, look, we saw this last year when he went off, and people are like, Sean Tucker this, Sean Tucker that. And Todd Bowles was like, we're going to get them all involved. We're going to get them all involved here. Yeah, we're going to get them. You know, that's how he talks. I don't like Todd Bowles. But he doesn't get him involved. He lies. He lies to the media all the time. I hope this time he does not lie, and Sean Tucker does take over the lead back role while we wait for Bucky Irvin, and Rachaad White just fades away like he should have 2 years ago. Respectable back, way better athlete than I'll ever be, but he's just not at that talent as Sean Tucker or Bucky Irvin, and I'm surprised it took him this long to do it. I'm surprised. I really am surprised. The next guy on our list, CMC 1381-2. Not much in depth to talk about there. CMC's a stud. Just keeps on doing his thing, 30.1. My thing is next year. Where is he going to be at next year? Is next year going to be another awesome? Are we going to overdraft him? Is he going to be the Saquon? Because I remember having these talks with Dirtbag Dave, former co-host of OUS, about, man, I really think Saquon should be the first pick. He did it last year. Why couldn't he do it this year? You know, I'm getting it. If you see me doing this, my mouse got unplugged. Sorry. Why couldn't he do it this year? I'm like, dude, that's a generational year. Saquon's never done that. Not that he can't do it again, but he just never has. Now we see Saquon fall off. Even his fall off isn't bad. It's just duplicating what he did last season was difficult. CMC is in a position where he's doing all this, putting up 25, 27 points a game. Are we all going to overdraft him and then the fall off happens? That's an off-season conversation, but it's very interesting to know, because if you have 2 wins on the season, if you have 3 wins on the season, why do you care about this year? You should be thinking about next year. You should be thinking about, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change I drafted Saquon high and it didn't work out for me. Maybe I'm going to do a different strategy. So maybe you're not going to follow the whole draft CMC high because of last year's points. We need to start talking about that soon for all the people that are not in the playoffs but are still active in their leagues. Trevion Henderson. Finally, all of us that waited and held on to him, the patience paid off. 19 carries, 62 yards. Would like to see that yards per carry go up. 2 touchdowns, 5 catches, 31 yards, 1 touchdown. Another 3 touchdown game for Trevion Henderson. What a baller. Maybe they learned something. Maybe New England clicked in their head oh, wait, this guy's good. We should use him. Just monitor it when Ramondre comes back. What are the chances Dak gets 17? I'd say that's pretty good, brother. That's right, man. I hope he gets 17 for you because I'm sure that's what you need to win. What do you guys need to win your fantasy football matchups? We'll get to the preview pretty soon. I'm going to speed run some of these awesome guys. Bajan, we already talked about 26.3 fantasy points. He really balled out. Tet McMillan, we talked about 8 for 120, 2 touchdowns. We want to see that from a first round receiver. I'd like to see it. I would like to imagine Tet with Dak or with a competent quarterback that's not up and down Jekyll and Hyde because, man, he's a special talent. Michael Wilson, 15 for 185, 18 targets. Marvin Harrison Jr. managers are pulling their hair out. Where was this the entire season? I know. I'm there with you, buddy. But it's nice to see that Jacoby Brissett can get somebody the ball, unlike Kyler. You know what? I'm a Kyler defender. I like Kyler. I just don't like the results from his receivers. I like Kyler. Kyler's cool, though. Tight ends, Terry McBride, 27.5. This keeps on being the stud he is. Kittle, 24.7. Really, really benefiting from Brock Purdy being back. 2 weeks in a row with Kittle having 24 or more points. Kelsey, 24.1. If I had sad music loaded up, we'd be playing it pretty soon because Kelsey took all my guys' yards. We'll talk about him later. AJ Barner, 17.1. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. 11 targets, 10 catches, 70 yards. Do not fall for it. 13% target share is not good enough for your starting tight end. Again, AJ Barnkowski is what my old co-host Pudge used to call him. He is fun to watch. He's not fun for your fantasy team. Who sucked this weekend? Who sucked? Before we get to who sucked, let's check in on the comments. More points tonight. Javonte Williams or Genty? Non-PPR. Oh, man. Non-PPR. What are we doing here? Broly, I'm going to say in a non-PPR setting, I'm probably going to go Javonte, but we'll talk about that a little later in the preview show because I got some fun stats. Well, not fun, just some stats on Javonte and Genty as well. So I'm going to go Javonte here in a non-PPR. I hope Gentry finally good one. Look, yes, we all want Genty to be awesome. He was a first-round pick. Again, it's gross. I got Tet, been starting him every week just for this moment. That's what we do. Man. Herbert. Hey, we're laughing at Herbert. We'll get to Herbert in a second. Who sucked? Who sucked this week? I'm going to put Jameis Winston on the list. He had 12 points. I'm putting him on the list because we were all mega hyped. For Jameis Winston. It didn't go anywhere. But to be fair, he doesn't have the rushing upside. And these are kind of Jackson Dart numbers minus the rushing. 19 for 29. He didn't throw for a touchdown, threw 1 pick. But to be fair, that looks like a Jackson Dart stat line. 19 for 29, 201. At least Jackson Dart will have a touchdown. But then he'll add 6 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. So honestly, take a look at that way. Look at it the way that I just broke it down for you. He didn't do awful because of the people he has to throw to. It's just Jackson Dart has the rushing upside, the design runs. Jameis doesn't bring you that. So we should have kind of expected this. JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, 8 points. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. A little history on OUS, Fantasy Now Plus, the merge, the name changed, how I felt about JJ McCarthy before. I ranked him his rookie season quarterback 55. It wasn't a joke. That was just, I don't believe in that. I don't believe. Dirtbag Dave, old co-host of OUS, massive Vikings fan. Dude, JJ McCarthy's this. I can't believe you have him ranked so low. This and that. Dave is pretty smart with football. If you've never met Dirtbag Dave, he's pretty smart, but he's also a homer for the Vikings. Massive homer. Okay. He was out for the season, so I didn't need to change my rankings. Last year, Sam Darnold went nuts. Sam Darnold then got money and got paid to go to the Seahawks. We know that history and how that's doing. Don't think about yesterday. He threw 4 picks. Before that, he was awesome. All right. Before that, he wasn't seeing ghosts. This year, I have JJ McCarthy ranked like 27th, 26th. Just like I need to see it. I need to see it. Rankings come out. I get a phone call, text from Dirtbag Dave. Oh, you're being an idiot. He's too low on your list. Oh, he should be this KOC, 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 KOC. All right. I believe you, man. You know what? You're right. You know what? Sam Darnold went from this to that. Daniel Jones spent like 2 weeks in Minnesota, went from that to this. All right. JJ McCarthy, we're good. We're going to be good. Believe in KOC, KOC, KOC. And then we get this. He plays 3.5 quarters of miserable football and then kind of turns it on in the last 8 minutes. I don't know how to explain it. I can tell you this. I'm out on JJ McCarthy. Out. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. I've seen enough. Justin Herbert, 4.3. Just one of those games. 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Just one of those games. And honorable mention, Shadir Sanders. I'm not a Shadir hater. Just want to put that out there. I'm not a Shadir hater. But this is what you wanted. This is what we got. That's what you wanted. This is what we got. Rashee Rice. This is where I'd play the sad music. Rashee Rice, 9.8, 6 catches, 38 yards on 9 targets. I don't know what sad song I would play, but I'd play a very sad song right now. Amon-Ra, 6.2, 2 for 42, 12 targets. Again, sadness. Sad. Everything's not awesome. I've been watching Lego Movie 1 and 2 back to back, because my son finally discovered Lego Movie. So we have to hear everything is awesome. And then 2 hours later, we hear everything's not awesome. And this is Amon-Ra. Dude, 12 targets. You can only catch 2 of them. That's more about the gameplay, the script, everything else, not the player itself. Roma Dunze, 2 catches, 41 yards on 6 targets. But I need you guys to all chill out and calm down, because this is not how they want to run Ben Johnson doesn't want Caleb Johnson out there throwing it 50 something times. Roma Dunze's got 15 targets. They don't want that. They want running. They want to run the ball. Swift had 21 carries, 90 yards. Manungai had 12 carries, 23 yards and a touchdown. That is 30, do the math with me, 34 touches between their 2 backs. That's kind of looking like Sonic and Knuckles. That's kind of looking like Gibbs and Montgomery. Not the same results, but that's kind of looking like it. So this is more on the scheme and the team, which is great. They're winning, than Roma Dunze. It's just he's going to be a yo-yo player until further notice. Jamar Chase adds another single-digit game to his record, making this, I don't know how many now. Too many. 3 for 30 on 10 targets. What are you going to do? And 2 internet darlings I have to call out, and 2 guys I've been against. So I have to victory lap because that's what I do. I'm sorry. Parker Washington, I guess he didn't return any punts. Doing my Florida accent. No. Just 2 catches, 20 yards, 2 targets. Parker Washington lovers, I am so sorry. We warned you on Tuesday. We warned you last Monday. If he's not returning a punt for a touchdown, what's he doing? This is what he's doing. So I know it was a blowout. I know it was a game. I just had to get my shot in there. And Tiny Tez, Mr. Tiny Tez himself, 3 targets, 1 catch, 6. I tried to warn y'all. I tried to tell y'all Tiny Tez isn't going to be consistent, but he's going to have bad games. He's going to also have good games, but ungood. Speed through all this because I want to get through the Monday nights, because we don't want to just bad players, right? Breece Hall sucked, 6.4. Saquon Barkley sucked, 9. Quinshawn Studkins sucked, 17 carries though, so that's pretty good. I'd like to see that. Can't really do much with Shedeur Sanders out there stinking it up. AARP member RJ Harvey sucked, 5 points, and Woody Marks sucked. Everything's not awesome. 5.1 fantasy points. And the tight ends, just look at the list. They all sucked. Goddard, Pitts, Otten. You son of a. I stuck my neck out there for Otten. I said Otten's going to be good. He sucked. 2 for 28. Hate that guy. I really don't like that guy. I can't believe I put my name on him. I can't believe I went to bat for Cade Otten. Started Tez over Cortland Sutton. I love it. I love that. All right, we got the nightcap, the Monday night game we played tonight. Where's it at? At Las Vegas. We have some big players, of course. We have Dak Prescott. We have CeeDee Lamb. We'll get into all that. Cowboys are 3-5-1 going into Las Vegas. The Raiders are 2-7. This looks like a very skippable game if you're not a hardcore NFL watcher. I might be watching Monday Night Raw, but we all know what I'm really going to be doing, sleeping because I'm an old man. But the Raiders are the underdogs, plus 3.5. The over-under is 50. That reminds me. I should have played something earlier, which I'll play in a little bit here. Justin's going to be so mad at me. But the auto starts. We have Dak Prescott. He's the quarterback 12 currently. Yes, he has not played yet in week 11. So that's what I go off of. He has not played yet. So he is currently the quarterback 12, scoring 19.4 fantasy points per game. I had a question in the chat earlier. Can he reach 17 points tonight? That's going to be difficult, more difficult than you think. The Raiders are only giving up 16.7 fantasy points to the quarterback position. That's 7th in the league. I don't know if Max Crosby's going to kill Dak tonight, but that's a possibility, which could hinder his throwing it, obviously his passing game. But I do think Dak's going to be able to get the ball out and sling it around, toss the ball all over because he has elite talent to do it with. So I do think Dak Prescott will surpass the 16.7 fantasy points per game, getting more to his average of that 19. I do believe in you. Skeeter OG. I apologize. Skeeter OG. His receivers are CeeDee Lamb. He's currently wide receiver 40. He's averaging 15.1 fantasy points per game. CD, man. CD is CD. But I'm worried about CD. He's not getting it done as much as we want. He's not in that elite tier anymore. He's not up there with the Jamar Chases or Justin Jeffersons. Heck, I don't even think they're up there anymore, to be real. Like, are they even elite? Yes, they are. Come on. Just relax. But CeeDee Lamb is playing the Raiders, who are the 11th worst against the wide receiver, giving up 30.3 fantasy points a game. He's a stud, but only 2 games. Only 2 games this season. He was a low-end wide receiver 1. It's not been ideal for CD. That injury has really messed him up. Week 1, where he had a bunch of drops, really messed him up. But I do think that he can put together a game against the Raiders. The other auto start, the person you're going to start, the person that we all want, the most questions on, Ashton Jeanty. He's running back 17 currently. Again, a lot of running backs, almost every running back's played week 11 up to this point. So he's averaging 14.6 fantasy points per game. He's not been as bad as you guys think. And you guys think he's been bad because of his ADP. We were drafting him, and not when I say we, I mean me too. I drafted him everywhere I could, around pick 7, 8, 9, 10, anywhere in that range. I was getting Jeanty. I believed in Jeanty. Not as much as I believe in Joe Hendry, but I believe in Ashton Jeanty. He's had 5 targets each of the last 2 games. That's why I said non-PPR. I don't know if he's going to be able to beat Javonte, but if he's catching the ball, that's been saving his fantasy points. That's been saving everything. He's had at least 2. He's had in the last 2 games, he's also had touchdowns. We need him to score touchdowns. Obviously, touchdowns are king. We really need that. He hasn't killed you. He has not killed you. But he's definitely not returning that ADP investment. Dallas does have a decent defensive line. They're getting a little bit of improvements there. It's going to come from the passing. If Jeanty's going to score fantasy points tonight, he better catch 5 or more balls. I'm just telling you guys that right now. Do not expect a 120, 140 rushing game with might get the rushing touchdowns, but We need him to catch the football. So Ashton Genty, that's his success. That's what we want him to do. That's what he's going to do. On the flip side, Javonte Williams, what a stud. Is he a stud, though? Running back 10 on the season, 17.3 fantasy points per game. But when he does not score a touchdown, when Javonte does not score a touchdown, it is bad. He's only scored not scored a touchdown in 3 games this year. He averages 9.3 fantasy points per game in those games. In the games he does score a touchdown, at least one, he's averaging 21.33 fantasy points per game. Massive difference there. He's not a player that's going to get you the yardage. Let's think of somebody like a Kamara in his prime, or somebody that can get you 15 fantasy points without scoring a touchdown because he's catching the ball and getting the yardage. Javonte's not that guy. He hasn't ever been that guy, I don't think. He could have been that guy before the injury, but he wasn't. So Javonte Williams, I do like him over Genty because I do think he gets in the end zone, and I do think he's going to be able to score a ton of fantasy points tonight against the Raiders. Brock Bowers, you're going to start him. But do you feel good about it? Do you feel good about Brock Bowers? He needs volume. He needs volume, especially on this offense that doesn't. This offense is embarrassing. He's tied in 19 right now. Definitely not where you drafted him. In the one league where I drafted, I could have drafted Brock Bowers, and I'm not bragging. Just I did this because I prefer McBride. When the one league I could have drafted Bowers, I chose McBride. I got roasted out of the room, and I said I just prefer McBride. I think he's safer. He doesn't need the volume to succeed, and he's just on in my eyes, a better offense with less opportunity around. Less players with opportunity around him. They had Marvin Harrison and McBride. Bowers, you could say the same thing where he's the only person, but I just didn't believe in that offense. I didn't believe in anything in Vegas this year. So he's a stud. Don't get me wrong. He's only had 1 game this season with double-digit targets. He needs a lot more of that. Last year, he was getting 15 targets a game, it felt like. This year, just 1. He definitely needs volume. But you're going to start him. Who else are you going to start? Nobody. George Pickens. Is he an auto start? In the chat, if you're still watching and viewing and active, is George Pickens an auto start? I need a Y for yes or N for no, because I actually had this debate this morning. Is George Pickens an auto start? I'm going to say no. You're going to start him. He's a wide receiver too, so I guess he's an auto start. He's wide receiver 6 right now. He's averaging 17.9 fantasy points a game. All indications show you that he is an auto start. But since CD has returned, CD has been out targeting Pickens 30 to 24. That's 6 targets. Doesn't seem like a lot, but to some receivers, that's a full game of targets being taken away. Pickens has had 9 or more targets in 6 of his 9 games this season. That's why he's been super dominant and really good. Last season, he only saw 9 targets in only 3 games all season. So his volume has been increased. He's awesome. How awesome has he been since CD's been back? He's definitely the sidekick now. That's the way he's been treated. You're still going to start him. He's still going to get open. He's still an awesome player with Dak Prescott. But his numbers have been falling off, and he's been living off of his weeks without CD. I expect him to fall out of the top 12 soon. Not now, but soon. Hopefully he doesn't, though, because I love Pickens. But here's the guys that you might start. What's going on, Jamie? Justin says he's an auto start. I believe he's an auto start, too. That's why I put him in the auto start suggestions, but he is kind of coming back down to reality. Trey Tucker, you should start him. I believe. Maybe. He is maybe the de facto wide receiver 1 there, besides Brock Bowers. He's had single-digit games this year, only 3 times, but they were against Kansas City, Jacksonville, and Denver. 2 of those teams, you could say, have a very, very good defense, and you expect it. And plus, Jacoby Myers was there, so it's not a big deal. My thing is, how is Trey Tucker going to make a difference in this game against Dallas? Remember, Dallas is easy to get over on. Dallas can give up fantasy points. Dallas can give up passing yards. How does Trey Tucker make his money? How does Trey Tucker get open? man to man. He's fast. Ran a 4.4 in the combine. He's quick. Dallas played 90% of the zone earlier on this season. So they played a lot of zone early on in the season because they didn't have the corners to match up. They had to get to the zone because honestly, their defense was complete trash. Complete trash. Over the weeks, the Cowboys have increased their man coverage snaps significantly. And I do believe that's where Trey Tucker, if he does get caught one-on-one, or if he does get covered man-to-man, he's going to get open. Matter of fact, he's number 2 in the league at man-to-man separation rate. I can see a big game for Trey Tucker tonight. I'm getting excited just thinking about it because I do need 14 points from Trey Tucker tonight personally. And no, that's not why he's on this list. It's just you need to be made well aware of his speed and how good he can get out there in the open. So Trey Tucker, you should start. Jake Ferguson, he should be in the auto starts. What am I doing? Or should he? I could say something really stupid and snarky like, oh, he's only had 8 points in the last 3 weeks. Well, yeah, last week they were on bye, dummy. So he scored 8 points in the last 2 games played. He's not getting targeted the way he was early on in the season. Is it because CD's back? You're damn right it is. Is it because they found out Pickens is actually good at football and can perform on this football team and they don't need to rely on Jake Ferguson? You're damn right it is. Jake Ferguson's the one taking the back seat here. The Raiders only allow 7.3 fantasy points a game to the tight ends. That's also the 4th best in the league. Jake Ferguson, you can start him. You probably will start him because you don't have another option. But man, has he fallen off a cliff since then. So Jake Ferguson is the last person that is on the you could start him list. You could start him. So, oh man, let's get to these this comments real quick. Craig says, I really used to like Pickens. I still do like Pickens. I still do. Pickens is the great nephew of legend Bo Jackson. Is that true? Do I not know this? That's true. Is that true? There's no way that's true. I don't think that's true. Jamie, are you lying to us? I don't know. I need to look that one up. That's a good chat GBT or Google search later on in the day. I'll tell you that right now. But that's going to do it, everybody, man. I really appreciate you think Ferguson bounces back? I hope so. Oh, Justin says it's true. It is Bo Jackson's nephew. That's cool. Did you guys know Sasha Banks is the cousin of Snoop Dogg? There, Jamie. I didn't mean to click that. There, Jamie. I could do cool things. Cool. Is this playing? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying something new today, and it's not playing. It's not working. So, oh, there it is. It's working now. So that's going to do it for the show, guys. You can follow us everywhere, fantasynowplus.com. Make sure you check out our waiver article tomorrow at noon from Charlene. Make sure you watch the people at noon tomorrow. Justin, Charlene, the waiver report. There was too many injuries this week. So make sure you check in with those guys over there. Finn's Talk Sports Network. It's where you can get all your Dolphins news, all your Miami sports news, football, baseball, basketball. The Miami Heat are riling up right now. I'm not really into the NBA. I don't know if they're good or not. Miami Hurricanes used to be good in football. Now they're not, apparently. So if you want anything Miami-based, Finn's Talk Sports Network. Yes, I am producing and hosting at the same time. I added a sound bed to my... See, I could do things, Justin. I don't need you all the time, boss man. I don't need you all the time. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to get back to it. I'll see you guys Wednesday for the Fantasy Showdown. Peace out, guys.